Michael, dude, you talked about it at the top of the show. You were definitely well inversed now in the world of what Saber's up to with Space Marine 2 and story DLC or a sequel of ideas are on the way.
Nice.
Tom Lyman over at BBC. Absolutely, right? Developer Saber Interactive will explore the potential for Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2 story DLC, and a full sequel after the game's early success. Space Marine 2 attracted 2 million players within a day of its September 9th release on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, according to publisher Focus Interactive, formerly known as Focus Home Entertainment. Dude, it is a such a win for Saber because if you recall, they were a part of Embracer Group, I believe, right? So they might have been in part of that mess. So it's nice to see them get out, and here we are, and this is how it goes. And then when you get into Space Marine 2, it is such a monumental success now for them. This is where it needed to put them on the map to break them out, right? It's kind of like watching Helldivers 2 success, but from Arrowhead. I think this is where we're getting in here now with Space Marine 2, because everybody we talk to, us included, love it, right? Nobody's got a bad thing to say about it. Speaking of IGN, Saber Interactive Chief Creative Officer Tim Willits said it was the fastest selling game the former id Software studio head has ever worked on, including multiple Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, and Rage titles. Well, what's that tell you? He also revealed that Space Marine 2 had a budget less than half the size of Doom Eternal's, which was his last game at id Software. Quote, our game director, Dmitry Gregoreknik, I'm going with that, dude. He has proposed some story ideas that could either be DLC or a sequel, end quote, Willowitz said. Quote, we're literally just catching our breath. This is 2 weeks out. We just need to get the dust to settle. Yo, huge success. I am so happy to see good news this year, Michael, because we've been on a train lately of just layoffs, disappointing news. This game tanked. That game closed. That game lasted for 2 weeks. You know what I'm talking about. And it's nice to have something come out and be a massive success and then allow them to be set up. Go, okay, now what do you want to do? Because we have options.
Yeah, I've been absolutely in love with this game. I know we're supposedly getting more story missions as well coming through out maybe the end of this year, hopefully, because, yeah, as you said, everything about this game has been amazing. The fact that we're already maybe getting DLC or a third, I'll be curious to see which way they want to go. A third game, bigger project, but a little bit more hype than, hey, here's more missions when we've already promised more missions. So that one caught me a little bit worried, right? If it's like, hey, now we're going to do paid DLC and those free missions we talked about maybe went out the window. That was the only concern I had there, but no, I'm super happy about this. That was the only, I'd say, small complaint I had, Drew, about this game. There's not a lot of content in it, right? We talked about it, about 10 hours of story mode campaign. There's about 6 post missions that are kind of weaved in with the PvE, which I thought was really cool. It's like, you'll do a campaign and you'll see the AI will say, hey, we're going to go off and do that mission. And then the PvE mission is you going off and doing that. It was really cool, actually. But that's it, right? That was my only thing that I've kind of come back and said, I've done all these missions. What else is there to do besides the PvP? Everything else is a repeat. So I hope we get more content. I hope that we get more soon. And I'm glad this has popped off. DLC has me a little concerned, Drew, because I thought there were rumors of already getting more free missions. And now if they're like, hey, what about that little swipe here for some extra missions? But super happy for Saber. This game has been awesome. Space Marine 3, count me in if that comes out. Love everything about this game.
Yeah, they do have the roadmap, right, for their seasonal content, which is what we're going to be getting into here next month. I believe in October is when it starts dropping. And then from there, there's like 2 other seasonal content drops in 2025. So there's definitely a roadmap for them, which is nice to see. But when it comes talking about, okay, we're talking about maybe another story or an actual sequel, I think that is great news, right? Story DLC is something we often hear of, but we don't get sometimes. Talking about GTA 5. So disappointing. It's one of those moments, right? But the success sometimes overrides some of these other opportunities. So I'm definitely curious to see where this will take us forward, right? Saber Interactive now puts themselves at a good spot to have options to go. Why don't we just make a sequel? Like, is the story DLC enough to pull people back in? If they're already invested and you're done like yourself, Michael, will you come back for the story, or would you just rather see a sequel instead?
100% rather just see a sequel, right? Because as you said, we have a roadmap, right? I'm already going to come back when the roadmap comes out. Don't bring me in with more DLC in the middle. Give me a sequel. thought the ending of the game set them up in a really, really fantastic spot. I'm serious where the new missions will take us, but they ended on a perfect spot. If they want a sequel, please give me that over DLC.